o'clock. Time for your first news. The Fox 2127 10 o'clock news.
The shooting death of a 16-year-old in Lynchburg remains under investigation tonight while family and friends come together to mourn the loss. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Becky Freeman.
And I'm Lindsay Ward. A candlelight vigil was held for Jesse Page tonight. The teen was shot and killed Saturday evening in Lynchburg. 2 other people were hospitalized in that shooting.
Dozens gathered to show their love and support for the 16-year-old's family. Mourners say Jesse was a great guy who was always there for his friends and family. Now police and loved ones want to know why the teen was murdered. Bree Jackson spoke to those who were close to Jesse. She joins us now live from Lynchburg. And Bree, how are they remembering him tonight?
Well, Becky, the shooting happened just a few blocks away from Jesse's home, and tonight people are gathered on the front lawn. They're sharing words, lighting candles, and talking about some of the memories that they have of Jesse. His family members who I spoke with earlier today say they still can't believe that they'll never see the 16-year-old again.
Now we gotta bury my little brother, and like my mom's hurt because she gotta bury her youngest son.
Rico Ellis says he'll never forget his little brother, Jesse Page. Family and friends gathered to mourn the 16-year-old and remember his unique style.
And my brother always did one thing every day. He always put his hoodie on and put his hood over his head like this.
As loved ones shared stories about Jesse, the investigation into his death continued. Crime tape, blood, and bullet holes served as evidence as well as painful reminders. 3 people were shot here. 2 survived, but not Jesse. Some say he was at the wrong place at the wrong time.
And he didn't gang bang. He didn't do what people try to make him out to be.
Friends say this should have been his first day at Heritage High School, a time for celebration, and said there was a moment of silence.
I saw it on Facebook, and I was like, what the world?
News of Jesse's death saddened this pioneer community.
It was just really shocking for everyone, and I know a lot of people that were really close to him. It was really heartbroken.
It's not like something you go through every day, and it's not something easy to get over.
As friends and family come together to cope with this tragic loss, they say they'll hold each other close and cherish the good times with Jesse.
I would tell my brother that I love him, and I'm here for him, and he gonna always live through me.
And police continue to investigate this case. So far, there's no word of any arrest. Police say that they do plan to hold a press conference at 10 a.m. tomorrow. So we will continue to keep viewers updated as more information becomes available. Live in Lynchburg, Bree Jackson, Fox 2127 News.
Meanwhile, a man charged in connection with a shooting in Southeast Roanoke is being held without bond tonight after turning himself into police. 45-year-old Poindexter Penny is charged with possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. Police are still looking for a second suspect, 23-year-old Shaquille Brown, who is charged with malicious wounding. The shooting happened Friday night in the 700 block of Dale Avenue. Investigators say 2 people were shot and taken to Carilion Roanoke Memorial Hospital. Leaders in Roanoke City brainstorm ways to cut down on violence after a weekend traffic stop turns into an officer-involved shooting. The latest incident comes just days after a Stop the Violence rally, which was held in the same area. Police say the officer attempted to stop a minivan on Dunbar Street for speeding. That was Sunday morning. That's when the driver took off and ultimately a man got out and started running. Officers say he was armed and turned toward them with a gun. That's when they shot at him without hitting him. The suspect was then arrested. But as situations like these become more common, residents and lawmakers alike say something needs to change. Ananda Rachida spoke with leaders today who say community policing efforts do work, but something else needs to change.
I was here, and when I heard those bullets.
Geneva Woods was sleeping when she heard gunshots.
And the policeman was right there, and he shot whoever was going back there.
The incident happened Sunday morning, right in front of her house on Dunbar Street Northwest. Woods says she doesn't feel unsafe after what happened in her neighborhood. However, some city leaders like Councilmember Sherman Lee are concerned.
We have to keep coming up with ideas and to try to make our city safe.
According to the Roanoke City Police Department, as of mid-July, violent crime was up by 32 incidents compared to the year before. Some of those involved are repeat offenders. According to police, the 2 men arrested and charged involved in the incident here have a criminal history involving drugs and firearms. Councilmember Lee says repeat offenders need stiffer punishments. It's something he plans on working on with the city.
I think you'd have to evaluate what are some of the things that are happening in the criminal justice system. If they're on probation, how intensive is the supervision? How closely are we monitoring the goings on of these offenders?
In the meantime, Councilmember Lee believes raising awareness through events like this Stop the Violence rally Friday night does make a difference.
We're going to keep doing the things we're doing because it's in the front door. It's with young people. It's with people who want to make something of themselves. That's important.
Aside from the most recent incident here on Dunbar Street, Wood says her neighborhood is quiet. She hopes with initiatives through police and the city, it stays that way.
We also reached out to the police department and asked for more updated crime numbers, but have not heard back. However, police did tell us crime is down 300 offenses compared to last year.
In Montgomery County, one man is taken to the hospital and another was arrested after a shooting over the weekend. It happened Saturday near a home on Maxine Street. Bethany Teague has the latest on this investigation.
Police say 21-year-old Brandon Brookman was taken to the hospital Saturday after being shot in the chest by 23-year-old Timothy Johnson. Johnson was charged with felony reckless use of a firearm. His arrest warrant states this charge means that he handled a firearm in a manner so gross, wanton, and culpable as to show reckless disregard for human life and caused the serious bodily injury of another person, resulting in permanent and significant physical impairment. According to the warrant, Johnson told officers at the scene that he was sorry, and they described him as cooperative. He has several driving infractions in his past and has lived in this community for about the past 7 years. Police say the investigation is ongoing at this time. Brookman is expected to recover from his injuries. Johnson is currently being held without bond. In Montgomery County, Bethany Teague, Fox 21-27.
And taking a look at your first forecast now, it was a sunny start to our work week with some warm temperatures that led into some afternoon showers and storms that in my house, it was sunny all day long.
I know, I didn't see the rain.
I was happy.
For more on what we can expect overnight and into tomorrow, we'll head over to meteorologist Alan August in the Weather Center. Hey, Alan.
Yeah, most of us did stay dry today, guys, but we are going to be tracking a few light rain showers later on tonight and into tomorrow morning. Nothing too widespread and nothing too heavy, but a couple of sprinkles around. Right now, radar showing we are actually dry with the exception of around Galax and Grayson County. You have some heftier downpours right now, but we'll zoom out the picture for you. And you do see some more numerous showers through western North Carolina, also northern Georgia, and that activity is lifting up to the north and east, and it is going to remain mostly light here, nothing too widespread and heavy. 77 right now in Roanoke, 73 in Lynchburg, still mild, still humid out, 77 in Danville, and coming in at 75 in Blacksburg. So overnight tonight, mostly cloudy, a spotty shower here or there. 66 for your low in Roanoke, 66 for Smith Mountain Lake, and 66 for Lexington. Your first look for tomorrow, we're mostly cloudy, much cooler today in the upper 80s. Tomorrow, 70s to near 80 degrees with a few of those showers around. We'll let you know how long this weather sticks around and when that warm up is heading our way once again in that 7-day forecast in a few minutes, Becky.
All right, thanks so much, Alan. New information is released ahead of this week's pretrial motions hearing in Jesse Matthew Jr.'s capital murder case. Albemarle County Police Sergeant Terry Wells has been subpoenaed by the prosecution to testify at Thursday's hearing. The hearing will cover a number of issues, including a defense-requested gag order. 33-year-old Matthew Jr. is accused of abducting and killing UVA student Hannah Graham. A trial date has been set for July 5th of next year. Political partisanship in Richmond creates a stalemate in the Senate. Today, Virginia state senators met for a special session to decide on a plan to redraw congressional districts. Senate Republicans vowed to only redraw those boundaries for the 3rd congressional district after it was deemed unconstitutional by a federal court. Democrats said they hope to redraw all districts. By the end of today's session, no maps were approved. Now, Governor Terry McAuliffe says it's up to the court to take action.
Roanoke City hosted an open house to get the community's input on a multimodal transportation study. City staff and the architect behind the project answered questions about the new transportation facility, which will serve Amtrak and other forms of transportation like buses. The study looks at design, population, and parking needs. The director of planning, building, and development says the public's input is important to address concerns moving forward.
Really, we want to get public reaction to some of the ideas that are out there, and that'll help us inform how we move ahead in the future.
The city worked on this study for nearly a year.
Schools across Southwest Virginia start classes this week. My little guy's going to kindergarten, meaning school zones are back in full force.
What you need to know to keep everyone safe and avoid getting a ticket. But first,
the Marching Virginians have a new training facility. What went into the project and what has some of the members more excited than in years past?